Welcome to Art and Scripture. Today we shall be sketching out Matthew chapter 6 verse 22 to 23, and it says, "The eye is the lamp of the body. If your eyes are healthy, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eyes are unhealthy, your whole body will be full of darkness. If then the light within you is darkness, how great is the darkness?" So this verse really hurt me because the beginning of this passage speaks about storing your treasures in heaven or on earth, and the end speaks about you not serving two masters, that you cannot serve God and money. So when they spoke about the eye and it being light and also a source of darkness, I was wondering, how does it apply to treasures? How does it apply to money? So I went into Uncle Google and started looking into what these two verses really meant in context or in line with what the passage was trying to speak about. And I came upon or I contextualized it to the ancient Greco-Roman world, which is where this book was written by Matthew. And in the Greco-Roman world, eyes were considered a way to show or to deduce a person's character. And one of the philosophers called Cicero says that everything depends on the countenance, that is your face. So, and the face is mostly dominated by the eyes. So for delivery or to know what a person is feeling, you usually look at their eyes. You can tell that they are sad by the way their eyes are formed. You can tell if they are happy by the way their eyes are forming. So, like for example, he says large eyes in that time reminded one of cattle. And according to Aristotle, he says that they were a sign of sluggishness. So eyes in that time were used to show the character of a person. And the Greeks, for example, like Pythagoras said that their eyes were a gate or were gates of the sun. And he says the eye was like a lamp or even the sun, emitting rays to beams to the object and having an effect upon that object. Plato says that the human eye is a type of fire, a channel for an outward flowing of fire. So Plato used to say that the fire that is within, which as Christians calls the soul, could be seen or could be emanated from the eyes. The Bible also speaks about the eye and uses the eye as a character basis, and it shows what is within a person is through the eyes. And there are a couple of verses that are spoken about, and I think we'll begin with Psalms 38 verse 10, and it says, "My heart pounds, my strength fails me, even the light has gone from my eyes." So when you think about that verse, you're like, if the sun is still shining, how can the light from your eyes come from you? So it means that it's beyond the eyes. It means that the eye carries even the sadness that is within our hearts, or even the desolation within our minds and our hearts. So it shows that it describes our inner self. Another verse is Proverbs 15 verse 30, which says, "Light in a messenger's eyes brings joy to the heart, and good news gives health to the bones." And these verses are contrasting. So in the Psalms, when it speaks about sadness, that the light has gone from her eyes, and this other one is speaking about the light in a good way. So the eye can describe or can bring good news, and it can be of a bad omen. I think we have all heard this phrase of someone has given you the evil eye, or which means that the person is jealous, or the eyes are a gateway to the soul. These are common phrases. So this one speaks about someone's eyes bringing joy, or a messenger's eyes showing joy as a sign of a good message. And another verse is in Daniel 10 2-9. This one was more of a vision that Daniel received, and it was a vision about God. So Daniel 10 2-9. I'll read verse 6. His body was like topaz, his face like lightning, his eyes like flaming torches, his arms and legs like the gleam of burnished bronze, and his voice like the sound of multitude. And Daniel was asked by an angel what he saw, and he was saying, or he was describing the Lord. The Lord has been described, his eyes have been described as like flaming torches. Flaming torches show light, which means God's eyes have light. And another verse is Zechariah 1-14. And here Zechariah was also receiving a vision about God, and in this vision, that is Zechariah 4 verses 1 verses 1 to 4. No, verses 1 to 14. So I'll read verse 2, and I'll also read verse 10. So verse 2 says, he asked me, what do you see? I answered, I see a solid gold lampstand with a bowl at the top and 7 lamps on it, with 7 channels to the lamps. And verse 10 says, who dares despise the day of small things? Since the 7 eyes of the Lord that range throughout the earth rejoice when they see the chosen capstone in the hand of Zerubbabel. So God's eyes are described as 7 lampstands, which means they're a source of light. And another verse, or there are other verses that describe the there are other verses that describe evil eyes. So in Job chapter 15, Job was telling Eliphaz, or he was asking Eliphaz in Job 15 verse 12, why has your heart carried you away, and why do your eyes flash? So this means that Eliphaz's eyes were gleaming, and you can remember Eliphaz was asking Job to renounce God because of what he was going through. So the eyes can be used to describe evil. In Psalms 35 verse 19, the righteous person may have many troubles, but the Lord delivers him from them. No, that one is 34. Psalm 35 verse 19. Do not let those gloat over me who are my enemies without cause. Do not let those who hate me without reason maliciously wink their eyes. So the eye has been described as a source of hatred, and a source of hatred, bringing bad omens to the person. And the psalmist is asking God to turn their eyes away from them. And another verse is in Proverbs. Is in Proverbs 16 verse 30, which says, whoever winks their eye is plotting perversity. Whoever passes their lips is bent on evil. So here Solomon is telling us that the person winking an eye at you, is plotting against you, which is a sign of evil. So in line with all these verses, going back to our verse that says the eye is the lamp of the body. If your eyes are healthy, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eyes are unhealthy, your whole body will be full of darkness. Then the light within you is darkness. How great is the darkness? So in light of all that information, that the eye could be a sign of good and a sign of evil, it gives us the idea of, or in the context of money, it means that if your eyes are set on greed, and if your eyes are set on the treasures of this earth, then your heart and your soul will be full of darkness, and all it will think about is getting money, or greed, or covetousness, always being jealous of what other people have. But if your light is set, or your eyes are set on God, then if your eyes are set on God, then your heart will be full of God's light, and your heart will be full of contentment and love for others, and joy for when they get good things. So in that light, I finally understood what these two verses are meant, and I thought, why don't I sketch this out and explain it to other people what I've understood. So I pray, even with this context, I pray that God will keep us contented in whatever we have, that our eyes will be set on Him and will be a source of light even to others. I pray that the greed of this world will not make us into evil people, that the needs of this world will not blind us to the goodness and the light of God. Thank you for joining and for watching. Have a blessed day.